In this video, I'm going to show you an easier way to make money online than you might ever have considered. I'm James I. Bond, one of America's leading behavioral management specialists, having worked with some of the most famous people in America. And in this video, I'm going to show you a simple way to make a ton of money online without spending much of your own money. Now, here's the story of a mom and son with no business experience who made a fortune online doing something you could easily do. Now, they loved the TV show Shark Tank and wanted to get on it so investors could make them rich. You know, when you get on Shark Tank, they make you rich if you're if you have something that they want to be involved with. Now, it took about a month to come up with a product that they could work with, okay, that they would want to create. And here's how they did it. The mom was constipated. Her doctor told her that whenever you're on the toilet, if you raise your feet like 6 to 8 inches off the floor, it changes the shape of your body, making going to the bathroom much easier. She tried it, and guess what? It worked. They started thinking, this might be an ideal product that we can create. What if we create this plastic stool that wraps around a toilet that you could slide under your feet whenever you wanted, whenever you're in the bathroom? That could be an awesome product. So they went online and found a company that could manufacture it for them. It turns out because of the internet, it's much easier finding somebody to manufacture something for you than most people expected. And for them, they found out that it would cost maybe $4 or $5 per stool, per toilet stool that they're creating. And they could easily sell it for like, I don't know, $20, 19.95, something like that, making a pretty good profit. They realized they could probably sell it online on Facebook, but they realized they had a problem. What they realized is they needed a really good name for the product that they were creating. It was basically a toilet stool, but that's not a good name. Toilet stool, is it? My wife said they could easily have called it the stool, but I don't think that would have been a good name. So they started thinking, this is basically a toilet stool. What's another name for a toilet? How about potty, like porta potty? Okay, and when you're sitting on it, you're kind of squatting. How about calling it the Squatty Potty? With simple Facebook ads, their sales skyrocketed beyond what they ever expected. They couldn't believe how much money they were making from this simple product. They were making so much money that they saw an ad and they decided to get this advertising company to actually boost their income even more because they were actually getting really good money. Within 2 years, okay, get this, within 2 years, they were generating more than $100 million easier than they ever thought possible. Doing something you could easily do too, and that's what I'm going to explain to you, okay? So think about this. How about you? We'll take you through steps, okay? Number one, can you think of a product that solves a problem that a lot of people are having? Number two, before you try to make it, can you come up with an awesome name for it? Using techniques like the mom and son did can really help you. They used rhyme and alliteration. Rhyme is rhyme. We know what rhyme is. And alliteration, which is a repetition of sound. They start with words. They started with the words to describe the product, toilet stool. Okay. And as I mentioned, they wanted a better word than toilet, so they came up with potty. Then they realized you were basically squatting when you're on it, so squatty potty, it's a rhyme, okay? It connects those words. They are brain triggers, okay? There are certain triggers in the brain that make it easier for somebody to accept your idea or product. They were using rhyme and alliteration, okay? So let's start with rhyme and how it could help you come up with an awesome name for your own product or idea. I'll give you an example of, you probably know this, struggling Wally Amos became a millionaire when he came up with the name of Famous Amos Cookies. His cookies were awesome, but he needed a good name for it, and he called them Famous Amos, and phew, sales took off. That rhyming name turned a simple product into a blockbuster. How about alliteration, repetition of sound? Buh, buh, good, good, duh, duh, okay? Sounds like an unusual thing until you start hearing some of the people that used it. Bill Rosenberg's struggling restaurant was called Open Kettle, which is how donuts are made. You kind of open a kettle, I guess. Never made donuts myself, but that's what his company was called, and that's why. Well, when he changed the name using alliteration to Dunkin Donuts, Dunkin Donuts, his income skyrocketed bigger and faster than he ever thought possible. In fact, literally, when he was putting the sign up of with the new name outside his restaurant, people started lining up to come in and buy donuts and coffee with the strength of alliteration, Dunkin Donuts. Okay, here are a few other examples of people using alliteration. When Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz came up with a TV show they hoped would change their life, it was alliteration that gave them the miracle name they needed. They wanted the name Lucy in the title because Lucy was well known, okay? She was well known in a lot of movies and TV shows, and they wanted the name Lucy there. So they started thinking, what are other words that begin with the letter L? Lucky. How about calling the show Lucky Lucy? What are other L words? How about love? Ooh, I love Lucy. There you go. And that's how they came up with the name for what became a blockbuster television show, one of the biggest blockbusters in history. Okay. Now, most people don't realize alliteration was also used with other shows that Desilu Productions, the production company that Lucy and Desi owned, also produced, like Star Trek, Star Trek. Mission Impossible. These were two shows that they produced. You think it's a coincidence that they used alliteration? No. How about Coca-Cola, Best Buy, Booba, PayPal, Pupa, TikTok? You think if TikTok was called a Chinese social media platform, it would be as successful as TikTok? You think it's a coincidence that all these massively successful products use alliteration, a repetition of sound? No. Think about it for yourself. Let's say you come up with an idea for a product you'd love to create, or someone else's product that you'd love to sell. How would you feel if you suddenly came up with a name for it that's so awesome you almost can't sleep nights because you're so excited about the absolutely awesome name you came up with? Well, here's the good news. Coming up with a name you love can be easier than you ever realized. In fact, rhyme and alliteration, okay, the repetition of sound or rhyme, are just two of 14 brain triggers that I uncovered and I reveal in my book, Brain Glue, that might be very interesting for you to just take a look at. You can check it out at yesbrainglue.com. Now, whatever tool you use, it's great fun when you come up with a name for the product that you want to sell that's so awesome and perfect. It gets people, or it gets you laughing all the way to the bank. How about that? Okay, you want to laugh all the way to the bank? Yeah, come up with a name that's important. And that's one of the most critical things that you want to do is come up with an awesome name. Okay, now once you have an awesome product idea and a great name for it, next you need, number 3, to find a way to get it made, which is a lot easier today than it's ever been. For Squatty Potty, looking on the internet for someone to manufacture the product for them was easier than they ever expected. Last, number 4 is get comfortable finding a simple way to sell it. For most people, starting out selling on Facebook can be pretty easy. The good news is places like Facebook, Amazon, Etsy, and Shopify are incredibly simple places to list and sell your products. You can even experiment and create your own ads on Canva for free. So really, it's a graphic arts process with lots of examples and samples, so you can actually start creating ads for yourself and see what they look like without having to pay anything. Canva has paid versions, but the free version is fabulous and has lots of sample tools that you can use. And there are plenty of free YouTube training videos like this one to show you how to sell when you're ready. Excuse me. So let's summarize how to make incredible income online. Number 1, think of a product that solves a problem that lots of people might be interested in. 2, come up with an awesome name for it, something you love and know that it will be great fun to sell. 3, make it or get someone else to make it for you. Finally, number 4, sell it online through one of the simpler platforms you can use. It could be starting with Facebook ads. And if you want access to my brain glue book that's coming up with greater product names easier than most people expected, check it out at yesbrainglue.com. And if you like this video, subscribe so you can get access to other videos I'm creating. For now, remember what the Squatty Potty pals did, and that can get you started on how you create the kind of online income you've been dreaming of. Enjoy.